Okay, let me say good evening to everyone who has tuned in so far. Good night. It's good night, Sister Marlene. We are streaming live on. We are streaming live on Facebook as usual, but we are also streaming live on YouTube. So on YouTube it's Farm Heights Nazarene. If you go on YouTube and type in Farm Heights Nazarene, you will see us also streaming live on YouTube. So we are streaming live on YouTube and we're also streaming live on Facebook. I know some persons might not have indicated that they do not have Facebook. So we are streaming simultaneously or at the same time on YouTube and on Facebook. So let me say good evening to everyone who has joined us so far. Yes, Natalie, Campbell, Marlene, Stevens, and have joined us. Already, and we want to get going into what we want to look at this evening. Let me just get the page up where the comments. I notice Tommy Trouble also. Tommy U Trouble Johnson is also with us. We just want to get the pages up. Yes, but we're going to be having a very exciting discussion this evening. Very exciting discussion this evening on the whole topic of should the part of the marriage vows that says till death do us part, should that remain in the marriage vows? Very important discussion to have, and of course we are doing this from a church perspective. However, as church people we can still have some serious discussions. There are many persons who are married and they are happy. There are some who are married and they are not happy, and a lot of them would, not a lot, some persons would tell you that if they could have gone back in the past, they would have made a different decision. So we're going to be having an honest discussion tonight on this topic. But before we do so, we are going to be praying. Father, we thank you for the discussion we're about to have. We ask your blessings upon what we are going to be doing and saying in Jesus' name. Amen. Alright, so as I said, we are focusing live on, we are streaming live on Facebook, and we're also streaming live on YouTube. I have magically found a way how to stream live on YouTube without having 1,000 subscribers to my YouTube channel. That's Farm Heights Nazarene. So we're also streaming live on YouTube, so you can tell persons who might not have Facebook that they can stream live on YouTube. Just type in Farm Heights Nazarene and you'll see the live stream going on the page. Alright, the marriage vows, till there's a part in it, and I'm going to read that part, and now we're going to be having an honest discussion tonight. There's a part in the marriage vows, that says, it says, I, then the person would give their name, take thee, give the person that they're marrying to name, to be my wedded husband or wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death us do part, according to God's holy ordinance, and thereto I pledge thee my faith, or I pledge myself to you. We are going to be having a discussion tonight as to whether this part till death us do part. That part means you are not expected to separate. Only death should separate both parties. Very important discussion to have. Only death should separate both parties. That is what we have been taught. That is what the marriage vow says. And so that is why it is said that persons must not go into marriage without being advised properly. So we are going to be having this discussion tonight. As I said earlier on, we are not going to be. This is not a lecture. Good night, Terry and Noble. This is not a lecture. Good night, Angela Amore. This is not a lecture. We are going to be having an honest discussion, and at the end of the night, we are going to get your feedback as to if you think till death do us part should be taken out. Is it outdated? Is it practical in 2020 going forward? Is it practical that people can stay together for life after they are married and be happy? If you are not happy, should you stay in this state being unhappy for decades? What if you get married in your 20s and by the time you reach your 30s there big problems start to occur and you are unhappy and no change is being made? In other words, things are changing for the worse. If all goes well, it would be good if you could stay together for life. And if all goes well, you could live to see 70, 80. Most persons would want to live to see 70, 80, 90 years old, even 100 years old. And if your partner does not die and you get married in your 20s and from in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, that I just counted on my finger 60 years. So if you live to see 100 or 70 or 80, it is going to mean that for a number of decades you are going to be unhappy because you have pledged to stay with the person for life. Should till death do us part be taken out of the marriage vows? Is it still practical in 2020? Is it something that is practical? Is it something that can still be practiced? We have to have a very honest discussion. As I just streaming live on Facebook, on my page, and we're streaming live on YouTube, and that is Farmites Nazarene. If you type in Farmites Nazarene, you will see us streaming live on YouTube. Now, we are dealing with this from a church's perspective. In any event, we know what the church teaches, that persons after they get married, that they should stay together. But we are going to be having a very honest discussion as to how feasible that is. I did some statistics. I looked at some statistics here, and I looked at some statistics from a Jamaican perspective. Since the year 2001 to 2013, they have given us some statistics from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica in terms of persons who get married and persons who get divorced. So for example, in 2001, Jamaica had 22,000 marriages. 22,000 persons got married, and you had 1,691 persons divorcing in 2001. In 2002, you had 23,000 persons getting married. It's up by 1,000. However, divorces, you had 1,745 persons getting divorced. So the divorce rate went up. If you were looking at the statistics, it's from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica. If you Google it and you put in, if you type in divorce rates in Jamaica, this will come up. between 2001 and 2013, since that time, divorce rates in Jamaica has been going up steadily. Every year it has increased. As a matter of fact, when you look at it, marriage rates has been going down. Less people are getting married since 2001. Less people are getting married. In 2001, 22,000 people got married. There was a peak in 2005 where 25,000 people got married. After that, it started to trend down. In 2013, this is where the statistics stopped. 18,000 persons got married. However, you had more divorces. So the marriages are going down in Jamaica and divorces are going up. So less people are getting married and more people are getting divorced in Jamaica. It will be interesting to see in terms of what the statistics are in the church in terms of persons getting married and persons being divorced. However, I will hasten to say, and one of the reasons why I want us to have this discussion this evening, you are going to find persons getting divorced a lot. And you will find that in the statistics, you'll find that in the secular world, persons who you will not find a lot of so-called Christians, believers getting divorced. The point I'm trying to make is that when persons are not saved, they are not Christians, they don't share Christian values, many of them will get divorced easier. When someone is in the church, and especially when most churches teach that divorce is wrong, and then there's also a strong teaching that says if you get divorced, you should not remarry. If you remarry, you are going to be committing adultery for the rest of your life. That's one teaching. So many people in the church do not get divorced that easily. They try to. They might not be happy, but according to the teaching and the commitments they have made to the church, to God, to a certain kind of lifestyle, they choose not to get divorced. However, not because persons are living together for years, it does not mean that they're happy. Not because persons are good evening, Sasha Campbell. Not because persons are living together for years, it doesn't mean that they're happy. You will find couples living together for years and they're not happy. And sometimes they don't even like each other. They live under the same roof for years and they are not happy. And they are just not enjoying life. They are almost like just relatives. There's no connection. The fire of love, the connection of love, that connection, that kind of warmth that was with them when they were dating, the first few years of marriage, that is all gone. And they don't know where it went. And they don't know how to get it back. They are still living together. They have children. They have possessions, but they are not happy. Persons now will say, you made a vow to stay together. You have to stay together. But then another school of thought is you have one life to live. One life to live. Should you live decades in an unhappy state, all because you are expected to keep a vow that says till death do us part? You are joined together with this person and you are not happy anymore. You are not happy anymore. Is it fair for you to stay that way for the rest of your life? And some of you might be saying, Pastor, why not? Why the person don't try to make the thing better? Sometimes one person might want the relationship to work while the other doesn't want the relationship to work. One person can't make a marriage work. It is two persons who went to the altar and said, I do. It is two persons who had to come together to get married. So one person can't make a marriage work. So if one person don't want it to work and one wants it to work, it's going to be very difficult. As I said, we want to hear from you tonight. Is this part? Let me read the vows again. It says, I take this person to be my wedded husband and wife, to have and to hold. Well, most people will say, that's all right, I can deal with that. From this day forward, for better, for worse. Most people will say, okay, I think I can do that, for better, for worse. For richer, for poorer. Most people say, I think I can do that, for richer, for poorer. In sickness and in health. Most people say, yeah, I can do that, because anybody can get sick. I can get sick. The other person can get sick. So if when the other person gets sick, I'll be there for them, because if I get sick, I want them to be there for me. To love and to cherish. Most people say, yeah, man, yeah, I can do that. But then the other part says, till death do us part. Till death do us part. We are not supposed to separate unless one of us dies. Even when I cannot stand you anymore, you cannot stand me anymore, you are unfaithful, I am unfaithful, we must always try to make it work. Is this practical? Is this practical? Till death us do part. Is this still practical in 2020? Or should we just say, if it cannot work, it just cannot work. Everybody has to go their separate ways. Natalie Campbell says, if you are in a relationship that is unhealthy and unhappy, it's as if you are a dead man or a dead woman walking. So Natalie Campbell said, you're in a relationship that is unhealthy, unhappy, is if you are a dead man or a dead woman walking. I don't know if there's anybody who agrees, disagrees, but this is a very good point. Life is so short. It is amazing how short life is. You might say life is long, but life is so short. Every day you get up, you're unhappy. Every day you get up, you're unhappy. You are in a relationship where you are not happy. You are no longer in love with this person. You have people who are married for decades and they are no longer in love. They are no longer in love. They just occupy the same space for convenience. You are no longer in love with the person. You know that the person is no longer in love with you. Should you say, till death us do part? Should you say, till death us do part? You are no longer in love with the person. The person is no longer in love with you. You're almost like strangers in the house. Should you say, till death us do part? Life is so short. You are not happy. You are not enjoying life. You might sleep in one room, the other person sleep in the other room. The person might can't touch you, you might can't touch the other person. And one of the reasons why I didn't have my producer here with me tonight, my second mini-me, is because we're having discussion. We might delve into some adult talk, and you know we have to protect the children's minds. And he just I didn't want him to be a part of this discussion tonight. For those of us who missed, but it's a very important discussion for us to have. Very important discussion for us to have. Should till death do us part? Is it practical in 2020? As I said, divorce rates are going up in Jamaica. In the church, you will find that many people are married, but they are not happy. What kind of life is a life where you are miserable? You are not happy. What kind of life is that? And people say, I am married to Jesus. You can't marry to Jesus. You can't marry to Jesus. Jesus is a spirit. You can't marry to a spirit. A spirit can't warm you up when time is cold. Jesus and your husband are two different something. So this married to Jesus thing is nonsense. You are an individual. You're married and you are not happy. In Genesis chapter 1, we read it last week, and let me read it again. Genesis chapter 1 verse 18, the Lord said after he made Adam that it is not Genesis 1, Genesis 2 verse 18, it is not good for the man to be alone. It is not good for the man to be alone. There are many persons who are married, but they are alone. They live in the same house, they're alone. Relationship, but they are alone. They are not happy. They are on their own. They don't business with the other person don't business with them. It is not like when they just got married. Should they stay together? I need us to have a honest discussion tonight, and I want to start hearing from you. As I said, we are streaming live on Facebook, and we are also streaming live on YouTube. For those of us who do not have Facebook, and our YouTube channel is Farm Heights Nazarene. Farm Heights Nazarene. That's it, and you'll see us streaming live. I'm actually looking at myself now live, so it's there. So should they stay together? Another scripture that I want. So I just read Genesis 1 verse 18, where the Bible says, it is not good for the man to be alone. It's not good for the man to be alone. And you might be saying, Pastor, well, it's better if you live with a person and you're not even happy, at least you won't be alone. But what sense does that make? Somebody will ask. You're living together with a person, you're not happy, the person is not happy, things are going downhill. Sometimes things have gone downhill, so till it reach at the bottom of the hill, and it can't go any further down the hill. It's at rock bottom. What do you do? Should you stay? Donna Campbell says, no two people should not exist together with no hope for the better. But with God, all things are possible. Very good point. No two people should exist without hope for the better. But with God, all things are possible. Natalie Campbell says, can it be interpreted? Death do us part means until marriage itself is dead. And not necessarily physical death of the partner. No. According to the teaching of the scriptures, Natalie, it means until physical death. Until physical death. Until physical death. That is what the teaching is. Until physical death. So it's not, and Sasha Campbell says, I agree with Natalie. So when it says till death do us part, it doesn't mean that the relationship is dead. It means that you are physically dead. Because the relationship between a man and a woman in marriage is often likened in the Bible as a relationship between God and his people. And so, since God wants a relationship with us forever, he wants the man and the woman to have a relationship with each other forever, as long as they live on this earth. So it is not till the relationship is dead. It is until one person dies. So it could very well mean, it very well means that even though you are not happy, you are still not expected to separate from the person. You're still not expected to separate from the person, because if you separate from the person, there's a teaching that says you should not remarry, and that's another thing that we are going to have to look at. All right, so in Genesis 1 verse 18, it says, God says, it's not a good thing for the man to be alone. It's not a good thing for the man to be alone. I know some of you are thinking, I know some of you might be saying, Pastor, this might be out of bounds. I know what the Bible teaches. I know what the Bible teaches. The Bible tells us that we must stay together. Yes, the Bible tells us we must stay together, but we can have an honest discussion. You know why? There are many persons who are unhappy. Their unhappy relationship have made them stressed, have made them depressed, have made them sick, have made them gone crazy. They are no use to themselves. They are no use to their children. They are no use to the person they are married to. They are messed up in their minds. They are miserable. They they go home, but they wish they were somewhere else. How can somebody live all because you are married to somebody that no longer loves you, or you no longer love the person? So, is it practical to still say till death do us part? Is it still practical to say that? I want to hear from you. This is heavy stuff, and I know this might be a bit Genesis 1 verse, we just read Genesis 2 verse 18, verse 24 now in Genesis 2. While I wait on some of your comments, in Genesis 2 verse 24, it says, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. They shall become one. They shall become one. The man and shall leave his father and his mother and cleave unto his wife. Cleave means come together. They become one. When I do this, you are seeing two fists. When I do this, you are seeing one. So this is what it's supposed to come like. When this is what marriage is supposed to be. When it is like this, it means that there's happiness, there's togetherness, there's love, and this is how it normally starts. This is how it normally starts. The man and the woman are together, it's happy, it's peaceful, it's loving. But as time goes by, for some of us, it becomes like this. One here, until eventually there's so much disagreement that there is a problem. It's no more two. It's no more two. It's now one. You understand? And so this is how God wants it. But then when it separates, it becomes a problem. Michelle Campbell says, if a man and a woman can't live in peace, I would. When you have peace in the home, everything will fall in place. We all need to think about our health. Very important. Good evening, Rennis Rose. Very important. If a man and a woman can't live together in peace, if a man and a woman can't live together in peace, what if one person wants peace and the other person don't want peace? What if, and I hate to do this, but I do have a choice. What if the man goes out? And this is the norm. And so I'm not picking on the men because I'm a man. What if the man goes out and have another family? Have 2, 3 children with another woman and he doesn't even care. And this woman that he has the children with, he has these children with this woman. He's not married to her. He's still married to his wife. And he does not care. Should she say, till death us do part? I want you to talk to me. Talk to me. Should she say, till death us do part? Should she say, okay, those children that he has outside are my children too, and that woman that he has the children with, she's my friend. She's my colleague. She's my matey. She's my partner. We can work together. Both of us can take care of him. Should she say that? Or should she say that? Should she stick to her guns and say, till death us do part? Or should she say, enough is enough? I want to hear from you. Donna Campbell says, I was divorced in the past because I couldn't see myself living in that relationship until death us do part. I was prepared to live alone because alone was 10 times better. Very interesting comment. Very interesting comment. This person is saying, Donna Campbell is saying she was divorced because she couldn't see herself living in that relationship till death us do part. She was prepared to live alone because it was 10 times better. So that would take a superwoman, pastor. That would take a superwoman. I guess she's responding to the point that I'm making when I say the man goes out, have another family, and the wife says, till death us do part. I still love him 100%. Those children are my children too, and that woman is my colleague, my partner. We can work together and take care of the man because the man has no intention of turning. He has a family out there, so he has to be there for both families. Should the woman stay, or and say till death us do part, or should she say this cannot work, I have to go? Donna says yes, she should stay. Good evening, Kay Wellington. I don't know. Think about it and let me know. Sasha Campbell says, from an unmarried millennial point of view, okay? I feel that if we can't be a union and work through our problems and there is no effort being put into the relationship, then why are we still together? To live out an unhappy life? That's a good question. That's a very honest question. Thank you for that. That's a very honest question. Very honest question. You and the, and I'm not, I don't want anybody that is saying, if you're not happy, you must divorce. Nobody, I don't want anybody to go and say I said that. We're having a discussion. And we have to have an open mind, and we can have discussions, we can think. That's one of the reasons why we have something in this called a brain. And we have the ability to reason. And that is why we are God's greatest creation, because we can think, we can reason. And so, if according to what Sasha Campbell is saying, you and the person are married, you are not happy, there's no union taking place, there's no effort being put in to make things work, why should you live together for decades unhappy? When your anniversary comes, you don't even care. When your anniversary comes, you don't even care. When you look at your wedding photos, you get upset. You get upset when you look at the wedding photos. When you look at him or her, you can't stand them. You have a life of regret. Should the person stay this way for the rest of their lives? Very important. Good question. Terry and Noble says, Donna Campbell says, first of all, no, she shouldn't stay. So we are hearing one perspective so far. I would love if we could have a balance going forward. I don't know if anybody has a different perspective. I noticed there are 23 of us watching. Some persons are more reserved, but we would love to have a different perspective if someone has that. That's the reason for this. We are having a honest discussion. Terry Noble says, I will say no because an unhappy relationship affects your health significantly. It truly does have a deeper impact on you than you might think. Donna Campbell says true, and she says laugh out loud. Yes. So Terry Noble is saying, no, don't stay together. If the relationship is healthy, it is going to affect your health. And that is a huge problem for you. So the way that God designed it in Genesis 2 was for the man and the woman to live together, and they were supposed to be happy. However, let me put this into perspective. This was before sin came into the world. This was before sin came into the world. Very important. When God brought Adam and Eve together in Genesis 18 to 25, Adam had never sinned, Eve had never sinned. They were both perfect. After sin came into the world, things changed. So the point I'm trying to make is that we are now asking two imperfect people to live happy together. And that is where the challenge works. That's where the challenge is. Lovable Tessa says, no, I don't think they should stay together because it affects you mentally and physically, which is not good for your health. All right. So I hear what you're saying. Now I am going to try to balance it. And so I am going to go to the book of Ecclesiastes. I want to follow me in your Bible, if you can. Ecclesiastes 4. It comes right after Proverbs. Psalms, if you find Psalms, you find, and some of you might be using smart device. Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes. This one is a nice one. This scripture supports marriage. It supports marriage. It encourages marriage. It encourages people to get married. Ecclesiastes 4, 9 to 12. So I hear some of you are saying, they shouldn't stay together. But I'm going to try to balance it, because I know persons might be looking and say, Pastor, you know, I think they should try to work it out. They should do everything they can because they made vows and all of that. So let me be an advocate for that. Before I do, let me read Aaron Drums. If it really reaches a point where looking at the wedding photos, you're vexed, I think the marriage should end. That means everything gone. And you have a good point. You have a good point, sir. If when you look at the wedding photos, you're upset, it's totally gone. It's totally gone. Totally gone. If Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9 says, two are better than one. In other words, two are better than one. And it's talking about marriage. So two persons coming together in marriage is better than you living alone. So because if you do a research, people who are married, happily married people, live longer than single people. That's what the studies show, whether you believe it or not. When you are happily married, you live longer than people who are single. So happily married people live longer than happy single people. So that's what the studies show. So it says two are better than one because they have a reward for their labor. In other words, they can work together and build. If one person is supposed to do something, it's going to be harder if two persons doing it. So that's why I say two is better than one. So if the single person is working to achieve something, they will achieve it. But if the husband and the wife is working together to achieve it, they will achieve it quicker because it's two of them. In most cases, of course. Verse 10, for if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe unto him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. So verse 10 says, both persons are working together. If one fall, the other one lift him up. But if one person is working by himself, when he falls, there's nobody to help him. So that is making the point again that two persons is better than one. In verse 11 and 12. In verse 11, it makes another point. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? When time is cold and you are sleeping in your bed alone, yes, you go under the blanket, whatever, and you get warm. But did you know, according to this, that when you have somebody beside you that you can cuddle with, that body temperature is much more better than you being alone? And so he's saying that when you are single and time is cold, yeah, you're gonna need a few pillows, you're gonna need a few things to keep you warm. But when you have somebody beside you, it's much better. And verse 12 says, and if one prevail against him, two shall withstand, and the threefold cord is not quickly broken. So verse 12 is saying, if one person is struggling and that person is goes through difficulty, it's going to be hard for that one person to recover. But when it's two of you, if one falls, the other one can help the other one recover. So Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9 to 12 is making the point that it is better to live with somebody. It is better to have somebody in your life where you and them can work together than being single. Now you are going to say to me, Pastor, well, Pastor, if they are happy, it is better. But what if they are not? And I will say to you, why not try? Why not put in effort to make it work? Why decide it can no longer work? This till that those parting can't work anymore. I'm going my way, you go your way. Why not try the same effort you put in when you were courting and you were dating and you bought the roses and you spent hours on the phone and you went out of your way to make the person happy and you did all you could to get the person to say, I do. Why not put in that same effort to try to make it work? What is wrong with till death do us part? So I'm balancing it out now. What is wrong with till death do us part? Why not try to make it work? Or is it that, Pastor, What if I'm trying and the other person don't want it to work? What do I do? We'll have to separate. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Good night, Lucien Murray. Aaron says, Aaron Jones says, true. Tommy Trouble says, Pastor, fluffy teddy bear can keep you warm too. Yeah, fluffy teddy bear can keep you warm too. But fluffy Tommy Trouble Johnson is a female. Yeah, when you put your head on the man's arm and you feel the body heat and you cuddle together, that is what most young girls dream. They don't dream of a teddy bear in their bed. Most girls dream of this wonderful man in their life, and when time gets cold, they don't worry. They don't worry about the snow or the change of weather because they are going home into somebody's arms. Whenever you're in my arms again, this time I like you for, you know what I'm saying? Yes, something like that. That's what most women long for, not a teddy bear. Not a teddy bear. Michelle Campbell says intimacy is important in a marriage. If there is none, what's the sense then? We are going to have the cheating game in play. So if there's no intimacy, cheating is going to take place, and that is something that we're going to explore. Katie Shep James says no, say can't manage. No, sir, can't manage. All right, she's commenting on the teddy bear thing. Good evening, Otis. Terry Noble says, what if the other person really wants to end the relationship? Very good question, Terry Noble. Very good question. I was looking for this from Night. Aaron Drum says, teddy bear dead. All right. What if the other person wants the relationship to end, but you said till death do us part? Terry Noble is asking, should you give the person their wish, or should you try to make things work? Because remember, you said at the altar, till death do us part, and those vows were not said to God. Some person said you went to God and made those vows. Those vows were not said to God. Those vows were made to the other person standing across from you. You made a vow that says, till death us do part. That's what you said. The other person does not want the relationship to work. But shouldn't you try hard to make it work? Or should you say, you don't want it to work? There's nothing I can do. We go our both ways. Very good question. The Jordan Blake Parkinson says, look, I agree, Pastor. A life blanket is very much better. But what about those women who the man is there in the house? Or what about those men, both parties? The person's there. You're in the relationship has broken down so much that you have no interest in touching the other person. The other person has no interest in you touching them. You see, some of us are in some good relationships, we don't know what's going on in people's lives. We don't. Some of us don't know what some person's reality are. So we can make some statements, but we have to understand that you will find people living in the same house and they can't touch each other. They can't touch each other. The only time they speak is if it's necessary. They are total strangers. You don't touch me, and I'm not gonna touch you. And you know, the only reason why I'm still in this is because I'm on the choir, or I'm assistant pastor, or I'm a member of the church, and the Lord has been good to me. And if I divorce you, they are going to discipline me in church, and they are going to take away my membership. That's the only way I'm staying in this relationship. I'm not happy. And so when I go to church, I enjoy the service, but when I come home, I'm miserable. And so I am divorced to you in my mind, but according to the law. Should you stay together? should you stay together? Isn't that an unfulfilled life? Good question. Good night, Daniel Chenis. Let's read another comment. Donna Campbell says, hear what? Before that, good night, Marcia King. Before that, Love Tessa says, so what if you try and still want to end it with the relationship? That's the thing. If you try and the person still want to end it, that's something that we have to discuss. Do you stay? Do you go? Donna Campbell says, hear what? If both persons do their part or better, yet if the man conscious to do what he was doing to make the woman say I do, will they will be together until death. Okay? I think that if they want it to end, let them go, because it's going to be a miserable relationship. But Aaron, yeah, if the other person want to go, let them go. Okay, but didn't you say till death do us part? So how you gonna let the person go? You said till death do us part. That's food for thought. Donna Campbell, what if the person no longer is willing to do what they did to make you say I do in the first place? Will you stay? Good night, Donna Cheney. Juliet Beckford says, why hold on to nothing, person? Want to go, let go. Why hold on to nothing? But didn't you say, let me read the Marriage Vows again. Next time, well, you can't see. Hear what we said. Those of us who are married, I don't know if you said this, but hear what most of us said. I take thee, whatever the person name, to be my wedding husband and wife, to have, to hold, that's what you said, I don't know if you remember, from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death us do part. There's a part that says for better, for worse. What does that mean? Could it mean that if the relationships get worse, you will still try to work it out? Could be. Could it be that if, you know, the person, as I said, the man goes out, have children outside, didn't you make a vow and said for better, for worse? That is worse come to the marriage, you know. If somebody goes out and have a relationship outside and have children, the marriage has come to the worst. Didn't you say for better, for worse? So aren't you expected to work it out and forgive? Food for thought. Let me read some more comments. Marcia King says, true pastor. I see a number of true pastor here. K. Wellington says, if according to you, you have exhausted all possible options to make the marriage work, then silently walk away. Silently walk away. Okay. I don't know how many persons agree. Silently walk away if the marriage is not working out. Silently walk away. That's interesting. That's interesting. That's something that we can look into. I'm not sure how you would silently walk away. I guess you would just move out. I guess when they're gone, you just move out. I think that silently walk away, you just move out. Would you still be in the relationship when you walk away? Would you still be married to the person? Those are the questions we want to ask. Till death do us part. Should it still be in the relationship? Should it still be in the relationship? What does a vow mean? You made vows. We're talking about vow. A vow means to make a promise. A firm promise to do something. When you went to the altar, you stood before the person. You remember? Well, maybe not you. People go before the altar, dressed the best they have ever dressed. They smell the best they have ever smelled. When some brides put on makeup, they are unrecognizable. They are more beautiful than you have ever seen them before. When some men put on the wedding suit, they look like somebody. When you see them stand before each other on the wedding day, Lord Jesus, what a beautiful sight to behold. And you looked at the person and you said, for better, for worse. If better comes, I'm staying with you. If worse comes, I'm staying with you. That's what people said. And they went on to say, till death us do part. So how come now you are saying to me, if the person is not making effort to make it work, you are going to leave? I'm trying to balance it out, because we're not going to have this discussion as a one-sided thing. But didn't you make a vow to the person, say, when worse comes, we're going to try to work it out? Let me hear from you. Let me hear from you. Let me hear from you. Donnet, I miss some. Welcome, Charles Stewart. Welcome, Molly Graham. Marcia King says, offer better for us. Marcia King says, that's infidelity pastor part. That infidelity pastor time to part. Yeah, well, so Marcia King, and I know some of you have made some comments, but let me just jump for better for worse. So if the person goes out and have a relationship, sexual relationship with somebody out there, didn't you say for better for worse? That is worse, you know. But you said if worse come, you would stay. So why should you go if the person have a relationship on the side? You said for better for worse, you're going to stay. That's the vow you made. So when you run into, that's what I'm saying. That's why we're having this discussion. Are these things practical in today's day and age? Are these things practical? Why, Pastor? I just read that from 2001 to 2013, divorce rate in Jamaica has been going up. Marriages have been coming down. Less people are getting married, more people are getting divorced. Are some things still practical? Juliet Bedford said, marriage vows need to change. Whoa. Marriage vows need to change. Very interesting. I would love... I don't know if Juliet Bedford has time to probably write one or two things that should be in the new marriage vows. I'm not joking. This is something that we can think about. What do you think should go in it? I don't know. What would you take out and add? So how would you change it? I would love to hear how you would change it, if you would change it. What you would take out, if you would take out anything. Well, very interesting. Donna Chen says, yes, try and work it out. As Christian, you should try and work it out. Try and work it out. All right. But what if there's constant abuse? I said, when I did psychology some years ago, we were doing a class. I don't remember what the class was. But I think it was, I don't remember what the class, I think it was about abuse. And it was this poem written by this woman that says, the title was, he gave me flowers today, it was not my birthday. It was to say, I am sorry. He hit me in the eye, and I could hardly see from one of my eyes. I'm just trying to put it, give an understanding. He gave me flowers today. It was not my birthday. It was to say, I am sorry. We had an argument and he broke my hand. And so he gave me flowers to apologize. He gave me flowers today. It was not my birthday. He brought the flowers to my hospital room. He injured me and I was hospitalized for a few days. He gave me flowers today. It was not to apologize. It was not my birthday. It was not in the hospital. It was at my graveside. He killed me and he brought the flowers to put on my grave. The point I'm trying to make is, what if there's constant abuse? What if people's lives are threatened? And I'm not going to say what if the woman's life is threatened, because you have some women that beat men. You have some women that are abusive, that beat men. And you have some who don't dare try to beat the woman. The woman never beat him. So you have some women who beat men, and women tell me that they box the man in their face and all kind of things. So it's not just from the man's end. If there's constant abuse, if the woman abuse the man, if the man constantly abuse the woman, should they try to work it out? Let me hear from you. Michelle Campbell says, what if you try and try for it to work and only getting worse? Will you stay and say till death do us part and be happy? No, I don't agree. All right. Kedisha Blake James says, when both partners having problem, they forget where they are coming from, not to mention the vows they made at the altar. the problems deemed to be bigger than the good thing that they did together. Yeah, so when persons are having issues, sometimes they forget the love that they were in. The love gone. Donna Campbell says, if the other person wants it to end, I believe there's nothing you can do to seek God's intervention. If it's his will, the relationship can be repaired with work from both parties. The repair takes the same effort like the beginning of a relationship. If the same effort is not being made to repair the relationship, that is where the worst comes in. Alright, Donna Campbell. So Donna Campbell is saying, if the relationship, if the person don't want it to work, there's nothing you can do but seek God's intervention. But here the point I'm trying to make. Do you remember, especially for the gentlemen, when you were trying to date the person you were married to, and even the ladies too, sometimes during the dating process you saw flaws and there were disagreements, but you did what you could to mend the thing. Why is it that when people get married, they do not want to put in the same effort to make the marriage work like what they did to get the other person to marry to them? Food for thought. Elma Chalmers, if you are not happy, it makes no sense to say because it might because it might get worse. So are we saying if the thing is not working, you're going to throw it away? Why not try to fix it? Why not try to fix it? You bought a car and it got punctured. You're not going to leave it at the side of the road. You're going to try to change a tire. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good example. But not because it's not working. Shouldn't you put every effort into it to make sure that it works? I don't know. Let me hear from you. Juliet Bergson says, a lot of Christians live in bondage and abuse because of the vows they make. I agree. I agree. A lot of Christians live in bondage and abuse because of the vows they made. But who forced them to make the vows? Who forced them to make the vows? You made the vows. You said for better, for worse. So you didn't know what you were getting into? Yeah. You did it. There's a reason why in Jamaica a 16-year-old can get married, but the parents have to give consent. When you get to 18, nobody can tell you what to do. You can get married for what it is like overseas. But in Jamaica, a 16-year-old can get married if the parents give consent. When you get to 18, you can do whatever you want. As an adult, nobody can force you to get married under normal circumstances. You chose and you said those vows. You said those vows. You said those vows. So shouldn't you keep the vows even when things go bad? Let's have a discussion. Donna Chenis, until we find fault. Very good discussion. Who is it you're not going to find fault with? Are you going to find a partner that you don't find any fault with? Is it possible? I'm not so sure. Everybody has faults. Caleb in Wellington says marriage has become a business transaction or a show until vows are taken and not anymore. Good point. Vows are not taken seriously anymore. Did you know? I should tell you this, but knowledge is power. Did you know that you can get married without saying these vows? Oh, you didn't know that? Did you know? Did you know you do not need these vows to get married? Let me speak from the Jamaican context. As a marriage officer, I can't speak for the American or wherever else people are. It is not the church, it's the government. The government deems you married as long as you meet certain criteria like the proper age and the sister or your brother or your father or your mother, relative. The person is not your close relative. Once the person is not your close relative once you have never been married before, in terms of you not practicing polygamy, once you are properly divorced, you can get remarried. So once you meet all those criteria and you sign the document, you do not have to exchange any vows, The government don't require you to exchange any vows. All the government requires you to do is to understand that when you sign on that document to say, I am getting married to XYZ, and 2 witnesses witness that you said it, that's all the government wants. These vows now are put in from a religious perspective to allow people to understand and keep the seriousness of the marriage. And so, food for thought. You can get married without saying these vows. Legally married. Alright. Because bear in mind, flip side, you could have said these vows and got married, but the person is your sister or your brother. So don't say you get married. The vows is not what the government depend on. The vows is secondary for the government. The government don't even care where you got married or how many persons were there. All the government wants to know, 2 of you and 2 witnesses, and you're fine. Alright? Terry Noble says, yes, you say till death do us part. But some persons are very abusive verbally and physically. When it reaches that point, you should leave. A person can tell you they love you and then hate you and then hide the hate with loving words. So, yes, some persons are very abusive verbally and physically. Yes. And when you reach that point, you should leave. But persons are abusive verbally. Couldn't you get counseling? Persons are abusive physically. You think you could get counseling to try to work it out? Food for thought. Let's hear from you. Kedisha Blake James says, when both partners are having problems, they should look more. They look more on the negative than the positive. They forget about the good times, not to mention the vows they made at the altar. Very important, very good. So Kedisha James said, when conflicts arise, persons forget the good times, they only focus on the bad times. And that is a recipe for disaster. Marcia King says they should take out death do us part and put till we find fault. It might sound funny, but would you get married? Would you commit yourself to somebody that will say to you, I will stay with you until I find? Would you commit your future to that person? Food for thought. Would you do that? That person not serious about you. Well, let's have a discussion. Kedisa James says, the wedding vows are okay. It's us need to change. Alright. Alright. The wedding vows are okay. It is us that need to change. Till death us do part. That is, somebody will say, Kedisha James, in the real world, it is not so. Because sometimes people do not want to change. And if someone don't want to change or don't see the need to change, it's going to be very difficult for the vows to be kept. So that's another discussion we can have. Because yes, you might say the vows are okay. People need to change. But what if people don't want to change? What if people don't want to change? What if the woman feels that she must beat the man? What if the man feels he can have a relationship outside? He doesn't see anything wrong with it. He's like his father. What should the woman do? Stay? I don't know. And Sim Sanji's Burrell. Jennifer Rose said, no till death do us part, but till I find fault. No till death do us part, but till I find fault. Alright? I hear you. Tommy Trouble says, couple can see counseling first before making a decision. Good. But what if when you see counseling, nothing improves? Nothing improves. People see counseling, nothing improves. One party don't see anything, because things can only improve, when people decide to change, But what if one party or both parties don't decide to change? How will it improve? How will counseling help? Food for thought. Donna Campbell says, more power to the women who beat men. What? More power to the women who beat men. Come on. It must be for something wrong he did. No same woman beat a good. No same woman beat a good loving man. No man should beat any man. No man should beat any woman. I won't say anything further than. Alright, I know you're joking though. Andrew Williams joined, Michael Wedderburn joined, Sandrine Burl, yes. For better for worse, but there is a big but. Sometimes some things happen to kill you mentally. That's true. You said for better for worse, but some things happen. Sometimes people change. Some things happen to kill you mentally. What do you do? Do you say for better for worse? Do you continue? Kedisha Blake James says that's why counseling is best before. I was waiting for this. I was waiting for this. That is why counseling is better before. You know how many persons get counseling? 3 sessions, 4 sessions, and the marriage don't work. And do you know how many persons who didn't get any counseling and the marriage is still lasting? I'm not sure how much counseling can make the marriage work, you know. It comes down to the 2 persons. But of course, counseling does play a part. What about compromise? Who is going to compromise? Who is going to compromise? Thank you, Andrew Williams. But good question. Who is going to compromise? Should one person be compromising all the time? What if one person always feels that they are right and the other person have to be compromising? Will not one person feel used, feel exploited? Good question. Good question. If both persons are willing to compromise, well, fine. So, Sanya Sam says, so the marriage vows need to change. Some men cannot be polygamous. Okay? So the marriage vows need to change. Change to what? What should we change it to? What should we change it to? I would love to hear. Andrew Williams says, so what is love then? It's just a season. Good question. What is love? What is love? Is it just for a season? Very good question. If both persons are in love, the marriage will work. But what if one person or both persons fall out of love? It happens. People, they couldn't wait for the wedding day. They couldn't wait. The wedding day was so wonderful. But years pass and they now sleep in separate beds. They don't speak. They hate each other. What happened? What happened? They were in love. They were in love. But somewhere along the line, the love died. Should they still say, till death us do part? Let me hear from you. Sometimes counseling doesn't help. I agree. It helps sometimes doesn't help. No, I would not commit to someone who said, until I find fault. I don't think so either. No, Juliet says no. Some persons don't marry for love. That's true. Some persons don't marry for love. Some persons don't marry for love. Every dream says, just like you, your car. What you work pan day in and day out, but each time it fix something go wrong again. So after a while, going to want a new car. This comment, Everard, is so, I don't even know what to call. There's a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's saying 2 opposite things. Just like your car, you want a work pan. You work on it, each time you fix it, something goes wrong. So basically, that part could be saying, you keep working on the marriage, things are going wrong, but you keep working on it. But then you continue by saying, after a while you want a new car. So basically, you work on it, so till there's nothing more you can do, you have to change it. Good point. Some persons married for wrong reason, that's true. Love on one side will kill you. Love on one side will kill you. Terry Noble says, are we sure it's love? Donna Chapman says, if they both love, God won't. If they both love God, they won't they won't fall out of love. Is this true? Is this true? If both persons love God, will they always stay in love with each other? Very good question. You see, both persons love the Lord. Why? Because the Lord is always good. The Lord is perfect. The Lord never makes a mistake. The Lord is the same all the time. But both persons are the opposite. They are not always perfect. They are not always the same. They are constantly changing. So, love the Lord, but fall out of love with each other. I believe we can love the Lord because He's always the same. But how am I going to keep loving you when you have changed? You have become abusive. You no longer respect the marriage. Good question. Good question. Good evening, Evangelist Karen. Good evening, Keon Carnetta Williams. Love Everybody says marriage is not like back in the days that people take their vows seriously and love each other. No, nowadays marriage is like a business. I want you to tell me, is marriage the same now like back in? Do people take their vows seriously now? Like back in the days, according to who said this? According to Tessa. That's what I'm trying. This is 2020, people. Divorce is going up in Jamaica. Marriage is going down. And you might say, Pastor, Christians don't divorce. A lot of Christians don't divorce, Pastor. The Lord is against divorce, Pastor. Praise the Lord, Pastor. Divorce is not something a Christian should think about, Pastor. But hear what? There are many Christians who are unhappy. They are so unhappy. They are so miserable. They can't sleep well at night. They are sick because of unhappiness. Are you saying that they must live this way for the rest of their lives until the person dies? Or are you saying you made a vow, you have to stay? Let me hear from you. Let me hear from you. Kedisha James says no, but when God is in the center of it, it can work. True. When God is in the center of it, it can work. Aaron says disagree with Donna. I wonder what Aaron disagrees with when it comes to Donna. If they both love God, we won't fall out of love. Some people will disagree, some people will not disagree. I agree. You have persons who love the Lord and they're falling out of love with the other person. And so, yeah, Andrew Williams says, what each party should do is to figure out why one should be married. Then, if each party agrees to be there for each other, admits faults and issues, helps to work on each other, the two will become one. That's in the real world. I am not disagreeing with you, Andre, but some persons will disagree. Some persons will disagree. Some people say, Andre, it started out well. She was so loving. He was so loving. I thought she would be the best thing that ever happened to me. I thought he would be the best thing that ever happened to me. My family fell in love with her. My family fell in love with him. He was so kind. He was so gentle. I want to show you the love letters that he wrote me. I want to show you the photos of when we used to go out and used to enjoy life. I want to show you. I want to tell you about how we used to enjoy each other. But today, we are like enemies. What happened? It happens. Keon Williams says, hot topic. Yes, hot topic. Blessings, Evangelist Karen. Andrew Williams says, each individual have their own idea, but sometimes listening to each other is one factor that breaks down the marriage constitution. So each individual have their own ideals, but sometimes listening to each other is one factor that breaks down the marriage constitution. So yes, so it is difficult. It is difficult. It is difficult for persons to live together and be happy. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. It's work. It's challenging. Carnetta Baker says both people have to keep working on the marriage. If one person start working, it will never work. It's easy to find fault, but I bet if you go back to the place you were when you fell in love, they can fix it. Just takes work. Did you know that there are many persons who would love to go back to the place where they just fell in love, but they don't know how to? It's like the bridge that they walked over to. The bridge tear down. Or a lot of persons, they don't want to. They are so hurt that they have given up. They have given up. Well, the Bible says, Evangelist Karen says, the Bible says, "Oh, God has joined together, let no man put asunder." Yes, that is a scripture. "Oh, God has joined together, let no man put asunder." But what if they decide to go apart? What if they decide to go apart? Should the woman stay if the relationship is abusive? Should the man stay if the relationship is abusive? And I'm going to ask another question going forward. Saving your marriage depends on both partners. I agree. Michelle Kempsey agree. Should the man stay? One of the reasons, as I said earlier on, I usually have my son here with me as my producer, but I sent him on vacation tonight. So he's not with us in studio. He's on vacation somewhere. Other part in the house. He's on vacation. I didn't want, because we might have to have some stronger discussions, and he might be too young. Should the man stay? One of the things that breaks down the relationship is when the woman closes shop, or the woman decides he's not going to satisfy the man's sexual desires anymore. Should the man go out? Should the man stay married to her, go outside and get it from somebody else, or should he divorce, leave her, and call the marriage quits? What should the man do? This is one of the things that break down many marriages. Breaks down many marriages. When the woman says, this is worse than COVID-19. Business closed down. You're not even working from home nor office. No work going on. Should the relationship continue? Why, Pastor? Did you know? I don't know what it is like in America, as I said. I'm talking from the Jamaican context. Did you know if a person cannot have sex, they cannot get married? What says you are married, what signs your marriage into law in Jamaica is after both persons have intercourse. So if you had intercourse the morning before your wedding, after your wedding, one party flew to another country, they never had intercourse. According to the laws of Jamaica, they are not married. You have intercourse after you make those vows. Intercourse is very important in a marriage. When intercourse stops, is the marriage still alive? Should you stay in the marriage? Food for thought. Let me hear from you. Terry and Miss Terry and Noble says lack of communication with each other, won't share our feelings with each other. Okay, so lack of communication, and you see the thing is, This discussion that we're having, it has many, it's like you're standing on a road and you see many turnoffs. I hear Terry and Noble mention lack of communication. And this is not something that we're going to explore tonight. And as we have these discussions, these are good discussions. May is Family Month, and we're having good discussions. And as I say to you, there are many of us in church. We are not happy in our marriages, but we love the Lord. And so we bear with our difficulties. But we love the Lord, but we are not happy in our marriages. And if we could go back in the past, we wouldn't even look at the person when they come to date us. Did you know that according to how, and every claim I make on this, you need to do research. Did you know that men were not, according to the makeup of the male's brain, males were not designed to talk or to communicate a lot or express their feelings a lot. A lot of women will tell you that the man doesn't talk much. I'm not saying all men, but men do not express themselves readily like a female. As a result, there will be communication problems most of the time in a relationship, because most of the times because the man is not speaking as he ought to, expressing feelings. But that is something that we can look at, we can discuss. Evangelist says, my beloved pastor, marriage and divorce is a very hot topic, but I can tell you that communication is a great deal in marriage. You have to communicate. Women are very good communicators. Women are excellent communicators. Women will communicate from now till tomorrow. Women communicate well verbally, non-verbally. Women are good communicators. Men are not. Men are not. And that's science. That's science. Men are not. That's what the research shows. So think about it. So if you are going to look, if you want your husband to communicate with you as much as your female friend, you're in for a struggle. And you will be happier as a woman if you learn some of these things. Because if you put the man under pressure to talk much and he's not talking much, you are going to be miserable and you're going to make him miserable and things can go downhill. So that's something to think about. Kedisha James says, some people just want to be married because their friends are married. That's why we have a lot of divorces. Very good. Why do most people get married? Why do people get married? All right. Why do people get married in the church? Very well, a number of reasons. Number of reasons. This is how I will answer that. This is how I'll answer that. And I won't say much more on it. If you see a woman that you are attracted to, and when you're dating her, you realize she has no vagina, or XY, she has no vagina, will you get married to her still? She has no vaginal opening. Will you get married to her? If you're a woman and you're dating a man and you find out that he was in an accident and his penis got cut off, will you marry him? Well, think about that. So why people get married? So you are telling me that you're gonna marry somebody without a penis? You're gonna marry somebody without a vagina? All right, let's think about it. So that's my answer to why people get married. It's not that difficult. We are humans. We are natural creatures of habit. They both have to want it to work. That is key. If one person wants it to and the other person, then it can never work. Never. So one person wants it to work, the other don't want it to work. Carnetta Williams says it can never work. So what do? You separate. That's what you're saying? Is no longer till death do us part. Or should it be? Should we take out till death do us part or till it cannot work anymore? Food for thought. Should we remove till death do us part or till I have done everything I can do and it cannot work anymore? Let me know. Marriage is all about communication, understanding your partner, and respect. Juliet Beckford says, red eyes kill a lot of marriage. You have the same mango at home, yet you look at your neighbor's own. Red eyes kill a lot of marriage. You have the same mango at home. But what about the person who says, I have the same mango at home, but I want to taste another mango? You know how many persons have mango tree in their yard, East Indian, but they get East Indian from somebody else's tree? What's so wrong with that, Juliet Bedford? What's wrong with you having mango and want mango from somewhere else? Food for thought. Everett James says, shop locked, but the supermarket open. Should ladies lock shop? Men lock shop too, you know. Men lock shop too. Not many from research, but men lock shop too. Is it good to lock shop when shop lock and shop refuse to be open? Do you know you have shop? Do you know that you have shop that has been closed for years? There's no intercourse taking place for years. People are married and there's no intercourse going on for years. Should you stay? Should you stay? Lack of intimacy sure does change a marriage. That's what I'm saying. No intercourse is taking place. Should you stay? Should you stay? And don't tell me that you have the Holy Ghost and you are going to take your mind off it and you are going to fast and pray and you are going to go under cold water and you're going to stop eating salt. Don't tell me that. No intimacy? Should you stay? I don't know. Sometimes people need a little nudging. If he's not getting what he needs at home, he will go looking. Talk to them, Carnetta Williams. If some people needs a little nudging, if he's not getting what he needs at home, he will go looking. In most cases, he will go looking anyway. You spoil it. All right. Why give that specific reason? You cannot be married and not want to please each other. Exit that marriage, please. The Lord will understand, although we are the only creatures that have intercourse for pleasure only. So, if you are not pleasing the person, exit that marriage. Exit that marriage. Alright? I hear you, Carnetta. Aaron jumps, intercourse is everything for a man. If shop lock things have to go downhill. Did you hear that, ladies? Did you hear that? Intercourse is everything for a man. I did not say that. Another man said that. And ladies, you need to understand this. Intercourse is everything for a man. It's not everything for you. So you might not understand it. You might not say, sure, that's nonsense. For a man, intercourse is everything. That's what Aaron Drum says. If shop lock, if that's not going on, everything gone downhill. To the bottom of the hill too. It's not even stuck on the hill, it's at the bottom of the hill. Evangelist Karen says, no one should be encouraged to stay in abusive marriage or relationship. However, the Bible says it's okay to separate and then reconcile. So, so we are saying then, Evangelist Karen, if the marriage is abusive, it's okay for them to go apart. Let me hear from you, or let me hear the others. It's okay to go apart if the marriage is unstable. So Elma Chapman says, sometimes both persons are in a relationship for years, and it's not easy to just go apart like that. Good point. People are in a relationship for years. It's not easy to go apart like that. Why not try to work it out? All right, let me paint a scenario here for you. The couple is married for 20, 30 years. They have achieved so much together. They have achieved so much together, and one person goes out and have children outside, shouldn't you just work it out? Should you just leave like that? Well, some of you might say, all right, try. But what if the person does it again? Shouldn't you just work? What should you do? You're gonna throw away 30 years of marriage because the person failed? Food for thought. Aaron Drum says, women just can't talk too much more time. Women just can't talk too much more time. It's not that they talk too much. This is how they are designed. Women are designed to communicate more. The women are designed mentally, the way their brains are designed. Studies have shown that if a man and a woman gets a stroke and they lose their sense of speaking, the woman will talk quicker. Women's brains are designed more to communicate verbally more. That's how they are designed, according to science and research. So it's not that they talk too much. This is how they are designed. And men are not designed that way. So it is going to be good if the woman can understand when the man is silent sometimes, and the man can understand when the woman is talking more than the norm sometimes, or she wants to talk. So it can be balanced, can be a compromise. Evangelist Karen says 99% of the time men are the ones who break the relationship. Is that true? 99% of the times men are the ones who break the relationship. God set the man as head of the house. Men need to do their duty, be the head and not the tail. I read somewhere once that women are better. Both men and women cheat, but women are better at it. Do you agree? So the man get caught more than the woman, so it might look like the man does it more. But because the women are so good at it, they don't get caught as often as the men. Is it that 99% of the time men are the ones that break the relationship? I'm not so sure. I've not done a research on that. But I would imagine that it's more than the women. But I'm not sure if women are just does it 1% of the time. Women, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. Let me not say I don't think so, but I am not so sure. Carnetta Williams says, that is very true. Men and women are not wired the same, which is why men cannot express themselves like women can. That is why we have different roles. He will never communicate that way. It's easier to understand him as a man and him as a person, have a girlfriend to talk to and express your emotion. Men are wired to find solutions, even when we only need to be listened to. Let me ask a question now. Do you realize that most of the men of God in the Bible had more than one wife? You realize that? Could it be that men were wired or designed to have more than one woman? And the woman should understand when the man has or desires another woman? Food for thought. Let's have a discussion. All right. Let me read some more comments. Terry Noble says, marriage should not be about intercourse. So you are telling me if I am sick and unable to please you, you will leave. If I am sick and unable to please you, you will leave me. Lord, help us. Yes. Who said this? Terry Noble? Let me read it again. Marriage should not be about intercourse. So you are telling me if I am sick and unable to please you, you will leave me. Lord, help us. I'm not sure if that is what Aaron was saying. He was just saying that it is important to a man. Most of the time, the man will desire it more than the woman. Most of the time. So I don't think he's saying if the woman is sick and can't please him. No. But as long as she can, she's expected to. As a matter of fact, there's a scripture that there's a scripture that supports that. There's a scripture that supports that. And let me read it for you quickly. There's a scripture that supports that. That supports that. And let me just read that for you quickly. 1 Corinthians 7. 1 Corinthians 7. Verse 3. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife hath no power over her own body, but the husband, and likewise also the husband hath no power over his own body, but the wife. Verse 5, defraud not one of the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourself to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your inconsistency. So basically he's saying, when you're married, you have no control over your body. The husband body belongs to the wife body belongs to the husband. Your body doesn't become a weapon where you close shop to punish. No. And some of you ladies who love to fast and tell your husband that you're fasting, and while you're fasting, shop closed. You should not close shop without consent. You should not close shop without consent. The husband must agree for you to close shop. So if you are not going to have intercourse because you're fasting, you must have a discussion with your husband. And if he agrees, then you go ahead with your fasting. Because guess what? You can't hug up Jesus when night come in a bed. Try your best to make your relationship work. It's a partnership thing. Let's continue. But no, if the woman cannot please the man because she's sick, the man must not leave him. Wait. This topic is juicy. Yes, Jacqueline Bennett, it is juicy. Carnetta Williams, Aaron, you can't say women talk too much. That is literally how we are made up. The mistake we as women make most of the time is that we consider our other halves, our best friends, with the hopes that he will be able to communicate like we do. But the reality is, he is not made that way. For most men, emotions send them running, especially since society tells them showing emotions is a sign of weakness. With the mind, you will not have a lasting marriage. Just understand how men are. Your partner before entering such a relationship. And I agree, it is not that women talk too much, that's how they are designed. And it's not that men talk less, that's how they are designed. We just have to try to understand each other. Yes? Jacqueline Benny says, I once heard from an expert that sex is just 1% of the 100% relationship. No, I don't agree. For 1%, for a man, I would say for a man, sex is more than 70%. Let me hear from you, gentlemen. Talk to me, gentlemen. How much percent is sex in the relationship to you? How important it is? Use a percentage. Talk to me now. Is it just 1% or more than 50? Talk to me. I want to hear from you, gentlemen. Don't hide in the bushes. Come out and tell us how important it is. Because what I've found over the years is that women sometimes, I'm not going to say sometimes, most of the time, do not understand how important sex is to a man. They don't. They don't understand how important sex is to a man. Just as though most women enjoy looking good and it's very important to them, that's the same way how sex is important to a man. If I can use that. Men, talk to me, men. How important is sex in the relationship? Talk to me fast. Don't hide now. Julie Beck says some men can't say I'm sorry. They chose to say men don't talk a lot. How can you be intimate when you are hurting? Alright? Welcome Geraldine Jones. Donna Cameron, 90% of the time it's men who break the relationship for true. 90% of the time is men who break the relationship. Alright. Not so sure. No, things turn up. Yes, Evra, things turn up. Jacqueline Belgic said nope. Jacqueline Belgic said one wife. Kedisha Blake James says no, Terry, that's different. A good husband will not do such things if you are sick. Alright, I agree. Tommy Trouble Johnson says, back in the days when men had more than one wife, it was to populate the land. It's still happening in our society now. But one man, one woman. Alright. Michelle Campbell says, but if the man is abusive, shop must still open. What kind of satisfaction him go get? Come on now. The mind is not going to be on it, but abuse. Hey! This is a very good comment, Michelle Campbell. Very good comment. You are such a smart lady. Smart. You're such a smart lady. But did you know that even a man will have intercourse with a woman that he does not like and enjoys it? Think about prostitution. Man have intercourse with prostitutes and he doesn't even care for her. That's how man views intercourse. It's that important. Talk to me. What expert that? Aaron Drummond says sex is 90% worse if it's good. 99%. Lord Jesus. Only Aaron alone may I hear from. I want to hear from the men. How important sex is. Aaron says 99% is good. If it is good, in 99% important. You hear that, ladies? You hear that? Chen, Gemini, this for Aaron 100. All right. This person says 100. Kedisha Blade James says what? Like seriously, that person needs to do research. All right. Alvin Amore join. Welcome, Alvin Amore. I want to know how important intercourse is for the man. Give it a percentage. Aaron says 99%. How important it is? How important it is? How important? How important? Everard says 89.99%. Wow. You must be an accountant. 89.99%. Where you get that number from? 89.99%. Very more than 50. Carnetta says men love sex more than women by far. Women, you need to know this. Women need to know this. Could it be that? Could it be? Time. You see this kind of topic. Time flies so fast. Could it be that? Let me take time and say this. It is just said that. Who said it? Somebody said it earlier on that most of the time the relationship is broken off by the man, or is broken by the man. Could it be that most of the time the relationship is broken by the man is because he's no longer enjoying intercourse with the woman? Could it be that the woman has made it boring, uninteresting? Could it be that the woman has made herself less attractive in his eyes? Could it be that she does not do it as good as he wants, and so he has lost interest? Could it be that if the woman or the women put more effort and thinking and thought and work into intercourse, it would be that the man would cheat less? Talk to me. What do you think, men? Let me hear from you. Jacqueline Mene says, let's go. There is so much more we can do to make each other happy. Remember, if you are in a relationship years ago, 50, 60 years ago together, they ended up loving each other more after night having sex. After night having sex. All right? I would call it, I would say 100%. Welcome through the very good point, Pastor. Very good point, Pastor. Yes. So, very good point, Pastor. Everyone says, yes, now a time to hit the gym. LOL. Joel, some men can't be satisfied. Men, I only heard from 2 men. I only heard from 2 men. Is it that we only have 2 men on the tonight? How important is sex to the men? Why am I asking this? I'm going to go out on a limb and say most ladies do not understand how important sex is to a man. They don't understand it, you know. Most ladies don't understand how important. I would go as far as say sometimes sex is more important than food to a man. Yes, women must understand that sex is very critical for a man. And so You have to understand this. But some women don't. And so, imagine you are very hungry. Very, very hungry. And you go to the shop and it's closed. What you gonna do? You're gonna die. The contents in the shop is important. All right, let's continue. The expert named Dr. Miles Monroe book on Understanding Love from the Heart. Jacqueline Bennett says, just know that maintaining a healthy relationship is not to build in the amount of sex you have. All right. Dr. Miles Monroe, Dr. Miles, very well respected expert, but that's why I'm asking for the perspective of the men, because experts can write, will do research and write things, but let me hear from the men. Is sex how important it is? I only heard from two men. One says 99.9%, one says 89.99%. Do we have any other men or just two men? Just two men. Ladies, from your experience, how important is it? What percentage would you give it then, from your experience? How important do you think it is for a man? Let me know, since the men are not talking. K. Wellington says, Aaron Jump says, women need to keep themselves sexy up all the time. Don't get old and daddy. And a lot of these women get old and daddy. And a lot of them, their mind is on Jesus 24 hours. Your mind cannot be on Jesus 24 hours. Sometimes you have to take your mind off Jesus and put your mind on your husband. You and Jesus relationship different from you and your husband. So your mind can't be on Jesus all the time. And this is one of the things that might break down some relationships in the church. The woman's mind is on Jesus all the time. What about your husband? So it could very well mean that Aaron says sex you up all the time. Maybe they are so spirit-filled that they don't believe in being sexy, not even in the house. They don't be not even going out. Some women don't believe in being sexy. Once they get saved, sexy goes through the window, and so that could be a problem too. Is it that being sexy is important for a man? It could very well be. Don't get old and daddy. A woman is as old as she looks. A woman is as old as she looks. Aaron is saying, even though you might be in your 40s, 50s, 60s, you can still look attractive. Don't throw in the towel. He's making a point. K. Wellington says, I am not a man, but it is very important. Yes. K. Wellington is saying that very important. Aaron Jones says, more than food for real, pastor. Sex is more than food for a man. More important than food for a man. Aaron says it's more than food. Anybody disagree or agree? More than food. Geraldine Jones says, pastor. Let me read Geraldine Jones' comment. I lost it. Pastor, let me say this. If a man can't give me satisfaction, hell bursts. Geraldine Jones is a woman. Yes? Yes, man. She's a woman. And she said, if a man can't give me satisfaction, he in a trouble. Hey! To come to bump. Geraldine Jones wants satisfaction. So I know there's a man them. Talk the things them Geraldine Jones. Dana Campbell says, for me too. So Dana Campbell says for the woman it's important too. Kedisha Blake James says, I don't believe that I have to listen to him sometimes. What? I don't believe that I have to listen to him sometimes. Oh, that is Miles Monroe. Okay. Alright. Aaron Joman says, me as well. We all tired, just come from work and tired from a sex energy get up. So Aaron is basically saying he will go to work and tired, but he's never too tired for sex. Aaron will run a mile and come back to the house breathing, tired. Never too tired for sex though. Aaron will carry 10 bags of cement and feel exhausted. But after he's put down those 10 bags of cement and feel exhausted, can't be too tired for sex. Aaron will walk from here so to Ochi, feel tired. Can't be too tired for sex though. A man cannot be too tired for sex. That's what he's saying. Ladies, listen. Can't too tired. Ladies will get tired. Boy, I'm tired. Not the man. Can't get tired. Lover Bethesda says, yes, I agree with Pastor. That sex is important. But some man don't know how to satisfy. Lord Jesus. What the time? We go down by the road there? Some man don't know how to satisfy. Yes. I hear Aaron talking about women and other men talking. I only hear from 2 men. So me I call Aaron name and Hebron name. Talking about women must do this and that. But what about the men who cannot satisfy? Some men love it but can't satisfy. Because it's not the man alone must enjoy it. According to Geraldine Jones and according to Tessa, the woman must enjoy it too. So what about the man who can't satisfy? That's not right neither. The man must be able to satisfy. Alright, let's continue. Natalie Campbell says, is intercourse just for the man or to enjoy? What is the role of the man during sex? That's a very good question. Is intercourse just for the man to enjoy? What is the role of the man during sex? So she's asking the question, is it just for the man to enjoy? The woman is to enjoy too. The woman is to enjoy it. Both persons must enjoy it. and when I do marriage counseling, I tell both couples, you make sure you enjoy each other. I specifically say to the male, because the problem is normally with the male now. Let me be honest. The problem is the male. Because some men reach too quick. You know what I talk about? They reach too quick. Them too quick, them too fast. Them fast now, Usain Bolt. You're not doing 100 meter. So the woman must enjoy too. And this can break down the relationship. You see where the discussion gone? We know say someone love talk about this, you know. You gone down at the sex lane. That's why I sent my producer on vacation. Michelle Campbell says, that's true, Pastor. When a woman gets married, it's worse if they are in the church. You have some women throw up themselves when they are in the church. First of all, you have this nice here. I'm not criticizing anybody now. I'm not criticizing. I'm the kind of pastor who don't criticize persons' denomination. I don't do that. I don't criticize when people go to church, whether Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or what they believe in. I am just saying, when the person stood across from you at the altar, they glanced at your beauty from head to foot. They glanced at your beauty. And when they looked at you at the altar, they couldn't wait to see you naked. They couldn't wait to see you naked. They were not looking forward to see you in a church hat. They were not looking forward to seeing a spike heel and a nice dress. They were not looking forward to see you in a nice clothes. They were looking forward to see you naked, sexy, appealing. And they could just ravish you right there at the altar. They couldn't wait until the reception over. They couldn't wait. And if you were not that weighty, they would lift you up, go into the honeymoon suite, but you went too heavy, so they couldn't carry you. They wanted to ravish you. Now you are married and you're filled with the Holy Ghost and you love the Lord. You skirt the hollow ground. You skirt the hollow ground. And you refuse. You're in the house and you have nice hair. You tie up it. You tie up it like some old granny. The man never sign up for tie up head and long skirt a ground. How you look is important to the man. But some women throw up themselves. It causes problems. Let's continue. Carnetta Williams says, it can be any number of things. Sex alone is not it. Or so I'd like to believe. If she's boring, she was always boring. That's what you agreed to. Don't go get some other exposure and come now and talk. She's bored. Experience teaches wisdom. All right. So most ladies are submissive. Find a way to talk to your wife about things you want to try and make sure she has people to talk to. If you make your wife happy and you talk to her, she will be open-minded. Not to everything, but if she is completely closed-minded, she was not like that the whole time. No point in getting into a marriage with the hopes of changing the other person. Very good point. Very good point. Very good point. Good question. Good question, says Jacqueline to Natalie. And as I said earlier on, both persons need to be satisfied in the marriage. Both persons, I'm going to read a few more comments and then we're going to try to wrap up. Both persons need to be satisfied, not just the man. And most of the times, I will say this now, most of the times, if somebody is not satisfied, it's the woman, not the man. Because as some person said, some men don't know how to satisfy the woman. Yes? Jacqueline Bennett says, how much do we value sex? What is sex? Who should have sex? These are some good questions. Jacqueline Bennett says, but isn't sex spiritual? That's another turn off that we could go down on. Aaron Job says, this might sound away, but me no want no Christian sex. Me need a porn star excitement. Hey! So Aaron says, me, and you might say, when you read Aaron's comment, you might say, this sounds outrageous. But could it be that most men don't want Christian sex? Most men need the porn star excitement? You never know. I won't even ask the other men to respond, because some of them couldn't respond to how important it is to them. I don't think they'll respond to this, because maybe their wives are on here too, one might see it. But it's food for thought. Veronica Ram said true. I wonder what she said true to. The Aaron statement, yes, I will agree with that 100%. What Elma Chalmers agree with. Aaron said he don't want no Christian sex. All right, Michelle Campbell says a woman represents their husband. A man likes to hear your wife is looking good. Yes, so women must look good. Juliet Beckford says men have to please their wife too. It goes half an hour. I agree, Juliet. Women must be satisfied. And this is when a lot of men fall down. Where the woman is not satisfied. Michelle 100%. Terry Noble 99.9%. Evangelist Karen says, yes, that's true. That sex is more important to a man than food. But look here, there's a time and a season for everything. Like I said before, when men get older and barely can come to attention, they can't even last long. 1 minute sometime, some of them. All right, Jesus. Sorry, the view paused. You know what she mean? She said, come to attention. You must know. Come to attention. They can't even last long. 1 minute, some of them. And she laughed. Women takes longer to get to the place of pleasure. And men always finish gone to their beds. Hello, sometimes women need to tell these men. That's what I'm saying. As she's saying that when men start to get older, it's hard for them to stand up attention. You know, come alive, and sometimes they can't even last 1 minute. And you know, women need to tell these men. And some of you might say, well, Pastor, what should the man do? That's another discussion. The woman might need to think about you know, looking at his diet, and you know his diet. and yeah, give me some ideas. His diet, and we'll talk more about it. But when he gets older and he cannot last only 1 minute, look at his diet, what he's eating, and so forth, and so on. And you know, there are different things you can do. That's something that we can have discussion on, but that's a very important comment. Karen Michelle Camp says that's how a man is. They will move the house, carry it downtown, and bring it back and want sex. Yeah, that's how men are. We always want sex. Men love sex. According to Aaron, no man is ever too tired or too sick. A man finds energy for intercourse every single time. Yes, Carletta Williams says that. Chen says true talk. Geraldine says 24/7 sex is very important. Geraldine Jones loves sex. 24/7 is important. 24 hours a day. Yes. Good night, Garfield Carr. So during you want Kedisha James is laughing. Carnetta Williams says, if a man is not great in bed, he can be taught if he's willing to learn. But in trying to teach a man the house, a woman has to be very careful as not to rip his balls. That is why it's important for people to know their partners before marriage. All right. Terra Noble says, it will make the relationship very healthy. Not saying it is based on it. It makes connection meet. It makes things feel different. It makes mind think different. Okay. Everard James says, more steam fish. So Everard James says, if the man, and Everard is a chef, so he knows this. If the man cannot stay for more than 1 minute, Everard says, more steam fish. I'm not sure what kind of fish, but fish in general. So Everard says, more steam fish. More style. Terry Noble says, what is Christian sex? Lord Jesus. Aaron, I hope you answer. I'm reading. Aaron, answer the question. What is Christian sex? Aaron, I hope you don't go on. Answer. Answer, Aaron. What is Christian sex? You brought it up. What is Christian sex? Evangelist Taylor says, what's the topic? The topic is, should we keep till death do us part in the marriage vows? And we have gotten to the point now where we say that a lot of marriages are broken down because women and men are not being satisfied sexually. It has even gotten to the point where there's no sex taking place. And sex was the reason why they came together in the first place. Because as I said to you, if you know that the person could not have sex, you would not get married to them. So that is the main reason why you came together. That is the topic, Evangelist Taylor. Jacqueline Bennett, have a part 2 to this topic. We need to educate ourselves more about sex. It's been misrepresented a lot. All right? We can have a part 2. Kedisha Blake James says missionary styles. Kedisha Blake James answers and says missionary styles. Carnetta Williams says, me sure I tell him, me sorry. Or him one, me can get some help, just saying. Alright. Jacqueline Bennett says, men can abuse a woman's body during sex, which truly is, it should be a form of ministry, just saying. Alright? Men can abuse the women's body during sex, which truly it should be a form of ministry, just saying. So I'm not sure if your Christian life goes into your bedroom, your sex life. We could have a discussion on that. I know the topic is hot. But this is very, very true. Michelle Campbell says, sex should be enjoyable for both parties. If the sex is good, all when the man want left, him can't left. And Carnetta says, true. Good night, Craig Campbell. I see a number of my classmates on here. I don't know if some of them have gone. But Aaron Joma says, Christian sex to me would be the sex where the women feel if I just lay on back and it done. So Aaron says Christian sex, the women feel just lay on back and it done and that's it. And she has to do nothing. That's what he calls it. Marlon Service says, all when him 100 miles. All when him is 100 miles. Okay. Okay, yes. So ladies and gentlemen, time is gone. We every week that we have this discussion, it gives us something else to look at. And very important, these are issues. You might say, Pastor, people should do this and that, but people are having issues. And you have a lot of people in marriages that want to come out, but because they are Christians, they don't know how to come out. They are miserable. They want to come out of it. There are a lot of people in marriages who want to come out. They are not happy. And and it was said, till death do us part. And because they said that, they feel like they are tied down to it. Should this come out of the marriage vow? Should we replace till death do us part with? Until I have done everything I can do and it is no longer working, then we part. Food for thought. Love Baptista says, I think your Christian life should go aside when it's time for your bedroom business. Marley Michelle says, true Tessa, Aaron says, Tessa, know the thing, man. Alright, so persons agree. Alright, time has gone. I know it's after 10 some places in the world. I don't know if we have anybody from from Europe. I know it would be 5 hours. There will be 5 hours ahead of us. Time has gone, but it's a very important, it's a very good discussion. There's a very good discussion. Craig Campbell says this is so true. There are so you find a lot of persons they are not happy in the marriage, and should till that those part be in it, or should they go apart? Some persons earlier on said if it's not working, they should go apart. Some persons said if it's not working, they should try to work it out. Very good question. Very good question. Should the marriage break down? Should one person leave because the sex is bad? Should one person leave because the sex is bad? Thank you, Avril Thompson. Should one person leave because the sex is bad? I guess somebody would say, no, have discussions. If the person don't know how to do X, Y, Z, you can learn. But another person will say, the person is not willing to learn. You have some persons who are not willing to learn. They just want to do things how they know it. And so there's no hope. So it's a lively discussion. It's a lively discussion. Jacqueline Benny says 10:30 here in the US. Yeah, so time is going. Time has gone, but it's a very good discussion. I know it would have gone this way. It's a very important discussion. But till death do us part, should it be in the relationship? Some persons say try to work it out. Some persons say if it is not working, it is just not working. It is just not working. And so we want to thank all of us who participated. I know it's a hot discussion. But hear what I would say. No. Till death do us part. When it is in the vows, it will allow couples to try to do what is necessary to make it work. You see, because they made a vow that said, till death do us part, it will allow them to try to make it work. If you didn't say that, you wouldn't really feel obligated to try. Understand me? So it's just like you got a job and you didn't say, I'm gonna stay here until I die. If you get something better, you're gone. But when you enter the marriage, you said, till death do us part. So even though things are bad, because of that part of the vow, it will push you to try to make it work. And another reason too, it will allow you your best to try to resolve conflicts. You will try to work out your conflicts because you made a vow. So I think that the vows will do more good than bad to the marriage, because it will help persons to try to work it out because they made a vow. If you never made a vow, you would not feel obligated to work anything out because you never made any promise. But because you made a promise, because a promise is a vow is a promise, but because you made a promise, you gave your word that you're going to stay with the person, that part helps you to stay in it and work it out. So I think the till death do us part is important. That's what I would say in wrapping up, because it will help you to try to work it out. Again, on the flip side, you are trying, but the other person don't want it to work, or it can get to a point where it's so abusive that you don't want to try because you might very well lose your life. Nobody would encourage you to stay. But at the end of the day, we should always try to make it work. All right, let us read just a few more, and then it's 11:30 now in Bermuda. Whoa, so Bermuda is 2 hours ahead of Jamaica. Okay, I didn't know that. That's if the relationship is based off sex. Cause that's true. Sex is important. It's important. It's important. And as I said earlier on, from a lady's perspective, some ladies don't understand how important it is, because it's not important to them as to the man, but for some it's important. All right, we are going to wrap this up. Very, very, very good discussion. Very good discussion. Very good discussion, everyone. Very good discussion. We want to thank all of us who tuned in, all of us who gave our comments, please remember that we said that 2 is better than 1. If you're married and you can work it out, try, because 2 is better than 1. And sometimes what you have, it might not be so good, but sometimes for you to give that up and to find something better is difficult. All right, so sometimes you have to try to work on what you have, because there's nothing perfect. And sometimes you think persons are having a perfect relationship. No, they're not having it. They're just trying to work it out. They're just trying to deal with it. But at the end of the day, if it cannot work, if one person don't want it to work, it is between you and God, you and the person, and we just have to decide to do what we have to do. All right, again, I want to thank all of us who have made comments. We are going to have next week, Wednesday, we are still in Family Month, and we're going to be having another interesting discussion as it relates to the family. This one I know is a very interesting one, because a lot of couples have issues, and marriage is not an easy thing. Marriage is not, even when you love the Lord, marriage is not an easy thing, because we are human beings and we're imperfect and we have desires, and so it's not an easy thing. But we made promises, we made vows, and we have to try to work on the vows. And you might say, Pastor, I'm going to get married and not make any vows. Well, what kind of marriage would that be? What kind of marriage would that be? How can you commit yourself to somebody and the person is not making any promise to you to love you and to cherish you? You're not going to commit yourself to that person. So I believe the vows are important, and we should work to keep the vows. All right. Donna Campbell says, good discussion indeed. Never know Aaron was a porn star. Aaron Job says, yes, he's a porn star. All right. All right. We want to thank you for joining us again this week for this discussion. It was wonderful. Wonderful. Marriages work. Yes, marriage is a lot of work. It was wonderful. And yes, we can have these discussions. The Lord won't be upset with us if we can have this discussion and we can look at these issues. All right. So let me wish everyone a good night. And as I said, just to leave you with this, I think the vows help us to work at the marriage more. Just as though you go to work, you put in effort in your job, you put in effort in your house, you put in effort in your car, you put in effort in yourself. Marriage needs effort too. And you made vows to put effort into it. And so the vows help you to keep the marriage alive, to give it the attention that it needs. So I believe the vows have a place and they should stay. But if it can't work, you have a decision to make. All right? All right. All right. Good night, everyone. Yes, I believe that work on it. Try and say, cow never know the use until till it gone. Good point. Cow never know the use until till it gone. Sometimes you leave and old time people say you jump out a frying pan, jump in a fire. Sometimes you leave your wife, you leave your husband, find somebody else, and it's worse. Yes? And so Donna Campbell says, bless love our God is able. Aaron Jones says, bless. All right. Good night, everyone. We are going to be having a very interesting topic next week. Look out for it. Look out for it. We're going to be having a very interesting topic as it relates to the family. We are going to, for some of the time, explore the difference between men and women. Men and women living together, they're different. And sometimes the differences causes them to be in conflict because they don't know how different they are. We're going to look at some of these differences. And, you know, after these discussions, our relationship should be better. That's the point we are trying to make. And we should be better people. God don't want us to be unhappy. He wants us to be happy. And He wants us to do what we can to be happy. All right? Have a good night, everyone. And God bless you.